Today I'm going to be talking about Potosi in Bolivia and Sucre in Bolivia, and I'm going to be trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter, so I'm going to kind of do more videos, but with individual stories and all. So today's Potosi and Sucre in Bolivia. And I'm sorry about my eyes. My contacts have been irritating me, so I took them out, but they're all bloodshot and red. So they're kind of weird. But, oh well. So after we went to Potosi, after we finished the salt flat tour in Uyuni, and I just automatically, but entering Bolivia, well, there was the first 3 days that were part of the salt flat tour, but that's part of a tour and you didn't really get to see Bolivia. So Uyuni was the first real town in Bolivia that we got to see, and it was a complete change from Chile. There was the traditional dress, and you could tell it was a lot poorer in Uyuni. Things to do in Uyuni. There wasn't much to do in Uyuni besides being the beginning and the end point for the salt flat tour. But it was such a contrast to what I was used to in Chile that I really enjoyed that first step into Bolivia. One thing throughout South America you will notice is there's stray dogs everywhere, and usually they're harmless. 99.9 times they're sleeping, or they just want company. I've given them food before and they won't take it. They just want to sit next to you. But in Uyuni was the first and only time that I was walking by a sleeping dog, and all of a sudden it just got up from sleeping and it bit me, and I was wearing pants. And it bit me and didn't break the pants, it didn't break the skin. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? What do you do when there's a dog attacking you? Either you run or you just freeze. So I just froze. And this 8-year-old kid comes up and was like, get away, get away. And so I had to be protected by an 8-year-old. Which I'm not too proud of. But after uni, we went to Potosi. Potosi is this really cool mining town in Bolivia. It's so you go and it's just all brown, just stoned buildings. You can tell it's kind of a poor, but is a very rich city because of the mining. They mine silver and gold in Potosi, and they do it from a mountain that you can see throughout the city. And the main attraction there is to take a mining tour, really cheap, $10–15, and you go up to the mines and you just take a tour of them working and see how it's done. I personally am from a mining town in Wisconsin. They no longer mine, but I have been in some mines that are not active. So it was really cool for me to see an active mine, a working mine. And just a little fun fact, I'm from a town that has the world's largest letter M. Yes, the letter M. And it stands for mining. So it's a little fun fact about my town. So to go on this tour, you sign up at the hostel or hotel or wherever you're at, I'm sure, and every single place that you stay at will have a tour available to you. And you just sign up, and then the first place they take you is to get outfitted. So you dress up like a miner, and then they take you to the shops, and the shops are pretty cool. You can buy dynamite. You're expected to buy some gifts for the miners. I bought cigarettes and some soda. This is the first time and only time I've ever bought cigarettes, and the last time. You can also buy coca leaves, which I think they like. Coca leaves is very popular in Bolivia because tourists buy them all the time because of the altitude. It relieves altitude sickness, but it is from the same plant as cocaine comes from, so you get that surge of energy. I always did it wrong. I don't know, there's a certain way to chew it, and you're supposed to leave it in your cheek for 45 minutes, and you're supposed to get energy. I put in for 5 minutes, and because it's bitter, it's gross. But I really like putting the leaves into tea and having it as a tea form, and I think it did work for me, even if I was doing it wrong or not enough time. And that was a really cheap way to kind of get rid of altitude sickness. And so you buy the gifts and then you go up to the mines. And I'll tell you, Bolivians are short, and I am about 5'9", 5'10", 173 centimeters. And so they're running and working very hard in these mines, and I have to like bend over and crawl. So I was also getting not sick, but I was getting really winded from being in such a high altitude. Potosi is about 4,000 meters above sea level, which is the highest in, I believe, South America, but at least the highest in Bolivia. And like even going up 3 flights of stairs to go to my hostel room was, I just was so out of breath. And so you're in these mines and you're already out of breath, and these little Bolivian guys are cruising past you, and you're just like, I can't even walk straight. And plus you're supposed to wear a bandana because all the dust and stuff, you don't want that in there. So they recommend if you have asthma or if you're claustrophobic, don't go, because then you go down in these tunnels and they're just like rickety old like step ladders, and they're wet and it's hot and you're already breathing into a bandana, and then you go down these step ladders and you go in these really small spaces. I went afternoon, so they're doing dynamite. They're setting up the dynamite, so I got to experience that. I had friends that went in the morning and they didn't get to do the dynamite. It was, I want to say testing, but it wasn't testing because they're actually looking for gold. They also have a lot of cool stories to tell, because your tour guide is someone that's always have worked in the mines before and have retired or just gotten out of the business, because it's a very, very hard business to be into. You get lots of diseases, just because it's not a healthy place to live in at all or work in at all, and you're in there all day every day. And so that's so that was Potosi. And also in Potosi there's the National Museum, which it's one of the first 3 mints in the world, and so I would really, really recommend going to that. That was just really interesting to see, and how currency was created. So I really love Potosi. After Potosi, we went to Sucre. Sucre is the capital of Bolivia. It's completely different from Potosi and Uyuni. It's a lot nicer. It's known for architecture, and well, my favorite, I don't know if it's exactly supposed to be known as this, but it's known for dinosaurs too. I figured out that I love dinosaurs. I kind of knew that I love dinosaurs, but until I got to Sucre and solidified the fact that I love dinosaurs, because they found the first dinosaur footprints in South America in Sucre. So they have this really cool museum that I just took the local buses to get to, and you can see the footprints on the side of the hill. And since then they found other footprints, but and then they have like little dinosaur statues and stuff, and they sold like t-shirts and stuff, and I got this t-shirt, which I just think is the coolest thing, in the world. There's also like a dinosaur park, and there's like a dinosaur, like just dinosaurs throughout like the whole city, so I just loved it. I really like it places, and Sucre had this really cool marketplace and marketplace around town. It also had, I don't know the exact name for it, but I called it the Barbie doll castle, and you can see it if you go from Potosi to Sucre. You can see it on the way on the bus there, but it's some rich guy's mansion, and it's like by this military base. Don't go to it, it's stupid. But I just took the local bus out there, and it's just this pink house that looks like a Barbie doll house. And then they also do tours